We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 2 US soldiers and an interpreter killed in suspected ISIS attack in Syria. Trump vows for a very serious retaliation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet US and European representatives in Berlin to discuss the fundamentals of peace. And in cricket, India to face South Africa in 5-match T20 international series, finally poised as crucial third match looms in Dharamshala. Well, the H-1B visa, long seen as America's bridge to global talent, is now at the center of a legal and political storm. California, along with 19 other U.S. states, have moved to court against the Trump administration, challenging a proposed $100,000 fee on new H-1B visas. Now, as policy changes tighten scrutiny and employers rethink hiring strategies, the future of skilled migration to the United States is heading for a decisive legal test. DD India's Nishcha Roy reports for more.
The H-1B visa, what began as a bridge for skilled minds, is fast becoming a toll road where opportunity comes at a premium, and the politics may cost more than the paperwork. California, along with 19 other US states, has filed a lawsuit in federal court in Boston seeking to stop Trump administration from imposing a $100,000 fee on new H-1B visa applications. California Attorney General Rob Bonta says the US president lacks the authority to impose such a fee, noting that federal law allows immigration agencies to collect only what is necessary to administer visa programs, not to reshape policy through pricing. The White House disagrees. Officials insist the fee is legal and part of a broader effort to reform the H-1B system, which the administration says has been misused and needs tighter controls. The H-1B visa provides legal access to work in the United States in high-skilled professions, offers exposure to advanced technology, global companies, and best practices, enables high earning potential and improved career growth opportunities, allows dependents to live in the US with limited work options for spouses, serves as a pathway toward long-term stay and permanent residency. But Trump administration's September 2025 rules tightened definitions for specialty occupations and degree relevance. Increased scrutiny affects firms filling large volumes of H-1B petitions. Trump administration introduced a one-time $100,000 fee for new H-1B fillings. US tech companies now dominate initial H-1B approvals, showing rising domestic demand. Once a gateway for global talent, the H-1B visa now faces uncertainty amid legal battles. As courts weigh in and employers reassess their options, the future of the H-1B visa hangs in the balance. Nishcha Roy's report for DD India.
Well, US President Donald Trump condemned an attack that killed 2 US Army soldiers and a civilian interpreter when a suspected Islamic State attacker targeted a convoy of American and Syrian forces. Now, the attacker was a member of the Syrian security forces. 3 US soldiers were also wounded in the attack.
So we mourn the loss of 3 great patriots in Syria. You know how it happened. It was an ambush, terrible. We also have 3 wounded. They seem to be doing pretty well. But we mourn the loss. These are 3 great people. And it's just a terrible thing. Syria, by the way, was fighting along with us. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened. This was an ISIS attack on us and Syria.
Well, initial assessments indicated that Islamic State probably carried out the attack, although the militant group did not immediately claim any responsibility. And U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner are expected to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders in Berlin this weekend. Now, the official said that Witkoff will also meet with his counterparts from France, Britain and Germany on Sunday and Monday. On Thursday, the White House said Trump would only send an official to the meeting if he felt there was enough progress to be made in peace talks. Now, the meeting comes just days after Zelensky said he will offer a revised peace proposal after disagreeing with several points in President Trump's initial plan. Zelensky said on Saturday he would meet U.S. and European representatives to discuss fundamentals of peace. Now, he said Ukraine needed a dignified peace and a guarantee that Russia would not attack again. And speaking in an evening address, Zelensky also spoke about Russian strikes. He said striking such ships is a direct challenge by Russia to the entire world. Russia attacked 2 Ukrainian ports on Friday, damaging 3 Turkish-owned vessels, including a ship carrying food supplies, days after Moscow threatened to cut Ukraine off from the sea. And Belarus has freed 123 prisoners, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Ales Bialiatski and leading opposition figure Maria Koloniskova, in exchange for sanctions relief from the United States. U.S. Special Envoy for Belarus, John Cole, announced the lifting of sanctions on potash on Saturday after 2 days of talks with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko in Minsk. Kowal said that around 1,000 remaining political prisoners in Belarus could be released, hopefully in one big group in the coming months. In return, the U.S. agreed to lift sanctions on Belarusian potash. Potash is a key component in fertilizers, and the former Soviet state is a leading global producer. The prisoner release was by far the biggest by Lukashenko since Trump's administration opened talks this year with a veteran authoritarian leader, a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And separately, Ukraine's Prisoner of War Coordination Center said it had received 114 prisoners released by Belarus, including Ukrainian citizens accused of working for Ukrainian intelligence and Belarusian political prisoners. Now, the center statement said the released captives would receive medical attention, adding that the Belarusian citizens who so wished would subsequently be transported to Poland or Lithuania. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said 5 Ukrainian citizens were among those freed. And campaigning kicked off on Saturday in the Central African Republic, with the unstable former French colonies voters set to cast their ballots in a quadruple whammy of elections on December 28th. Besides national, regional and municipal lawmakers, Central Africans are set to pick their president, with Faustin Archange Touadéra in pole position out of a 7-strong field to seek a third term. Thousands of supporters packed into a 20,000-seater stadium in the capital, Bangui, to listen to Touadéra, accused by the opposition of wishing to cling on as president for life in one of the world's poorest countries. Both of Touadéra's top critics on the ballot paper, ex-Prime Minister Henry Maré Tondra and the main opposition leader Anicet George Dolaguel, had feared they would be barred from the election over nationality requirements. Now, touring the capital's districts alongside a travelling convoy, Dolaguel warned that the upcoming vote represents a choice for national survival, a choice between resignation and hope. And Chilean authorities finalized preparations in the capital ahead of the next day's presidential runoff, setting up polling stations and deploying security forces as the country braces for a closely watched vote. A presidential representative and army authorities visited a polling station in Santiago and confirmed that 1,014 polling stations had been prepared for Sunday's poll. With a commanding lead in opinion polls and an electorate clamoring for security, far-right candidate Jose Antonio Cast is widely expected to win Chile's presidential runoff. Well, Cast is running against Zdara, the governing leftist coalition's candidate and a member of the Communist Party. A victory for Cast would mark the country's strongest political shift in decades and to the rising tide of right-wing governments across Latin America. And activists and opposition figures from across Tunisia's political spectrum took to the streets in a rare show of unity against President Kais Saied, demanding an end to one-man rule and the restoration of democracy. The protest followed 3 weeks of demonstrations and underscored growing momentum amongst opposition groups and civil society against what they describe as Saied's unprecedented crackdown on critics. Hundreds marched through the capital carrying portraits of jailed politicians, journalists and activists, turning the protest into a weekly showdown between Saied and his opponents. Rights groups say Saied has eroded freedom and turned Tunisia into an open-air prison since taking extraordinary powers in 2021 and ruling by decree. Saied rejects the accusations, saying he's cleansing the country of traitors and a corrupt elite. And the M23 pressed onwards in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, even as Washington vowed action over its Rwandan backers, violation of a U.S. brokered peace deal. Now, top U.S. diplomat Marco Rubio that Rwanda had clearly breached the agreement it signed with the DRC in Washington last week, the latest attempt to end the grinding 3-decade-long conflict, upending the mineral-rich Congolese East. The deal, signed on December 4th and praised by President Donald Trump, unraveled within days. Rwandan-backed M23 fighters seized the strategic border city of Uvira near Burundi, raising fears of the conflict spilling across the region. Control of Uvira gives the rebels command over the land border with Burundi and cuts off potential military support for Congolese forces. Since capturing Uvira on Wednesday, M23 has pushed further west, taking the administrative center of Kipupu without resistance after Burundian troops withdrew. Now, the offensive, launched in early December in South Kivu, follows the group's earlier seizures of Goma and Bukavu, tightening M23's grip on eastern Congo despite international efforts to halt the fighting. And $93 million in new U.S. aid were announced for therapeutic food in Kenya, but months of waiting has added to rising malnutrition. Disruptions to U.S. humanitarian assistance under President Donald Trump have had far-reaching consequences for developing nations worldwide. In fact, even relatively stable countries such as Kenya have been hit, exposing how dependent essential nutrition programs are on timely foreign aid. Aid agencies warn that without faster disbursement and sustained support, thousands of children remain at risk, underscoring the human cost of stalled humanitarian funding. And the Paris region has inaugurated its first urban cable car in a densely fragmented area cut through by major expressways and railway lines. This new aerial transport link is designed to serve communities long isolated by inadequate transport connections, offering residents a faster and more direct route to and from the capital. More than 1,000 cyclists dressed as Santa Claus rode through central London for the 11th annual Santa Cruise, turning the streets red and white in a festive show of sport. The fundraising ride now becomes London tradition. Also, participants collected donations from onlookers to support a charity helping children with heart conditions. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India-Georgia hold 8th Foreign Office consultations in Tbilisi to review bilateral ties and global issues. Lionel Messi charms fans across India on GOAT tour, attends events in Mumbai after Grand Kolkata and Hyderabad tours. And Filipino family turns home into winter wonderland.
Green technology can really help protect our planet if it doesn't harm our communities in the process.
The solar panels of all the 5 sets cumulative is around 80 kilowatts. So per year there is a saving of around 1 lakh units.
As long as you have high concentrations versus low, then you can sort of harvest energy this way.
Each village has its own unique problems. We need to develop a scientifically sound, yet simple model that local people can understand and implement.
work outdoors where environmental conditions constantly change. Some weeds are larger, some smaller, with different leaf shapes. With AI, many of them can be learned and controlled much more easily. That's why AI is a small revolution in this field.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, the 8th India-Georgia Foreign Office consultations was held in Tbilisi on Saturday. Delegation led by Secretary West of India's Ministry of External Affairs, C.B. George, met Deputy Foreign Minister of the Republic of Georgia, Alexander Kviselevi. Both sides reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations, including political engagement, trade and economic cooperation, cultural exchanges and people-to-people ties, as well as ways to further expand cooperation in new areas. Views were also exchanged on regional and global issues of mutual interest. The centre imposed the most stringent emergency measures in Delhi NCR on Saturday. A 5-point action plan as per Stage 4 of extant GRAP is applicable with immediate effect in the entire NCR. This 5-point action plan includes steps to be implemented ensured by different agencies and pollution control boards or NCR and DPCC. These steps are: stop entry of BS4 truck traffic into Delhi. All LNG, CNG, electric, BS6 diesel trucks shall, however, be permitted to enter Delhi. Enforce strict ban on plying of Delhi-registered diesel-operated BS4 and below heavy goods vehicles. Ban C&D activities as in the GRAP Stage 3. State governments in the NCR to mandatorily conduct classes in schools for children, even for higher classes in a hybrid mode. State governments may consider additional emergency measures like closure of colleges, educational institutions, and closure of non-emergency commercial activities. Well, Doordarshan channels delivered an outstanding performance at the 17th Exchange for Media News Broadcasting Awards, ENBA, held in New Delhi, winning multiple honours for excellence in journalism and creative programming. Well, DD India won 2 silver awards, one for Best International News Channel, English, and another for its flagship program, Connecting the Dots, which was recognized as Best Current Affairs Program English. The awards underline DD India's strong global outlook and commitment to unbiased, factual reporting. In addition, DD News secured the Gold Award for its program Cyber Alert in the category of Best Campaign for Social Cause Hindi. The campaign was praised for its impactful role in raising public awareness about cybersecurity in the digital age. On the occasion, the CEO, Prasar Bharati, was also honored with the Best CEO of the Year award. In fact, the CEO described the recognition as a result of the collective hard work and dedication of the entire team. Director General of DD News, Priya Kumar, congratulated all the winners and team members, stating that the honours reflect the organization's commitment, professionalism, and teamwork. She expressed confidence that Doordarshan will continue to set new benchmarks in public service broadcasting and credible journalism in the years ahead.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि हमारे प्रोग्राम्स की जो क्वालिटी है, जो गुणवत्ता है, उसको आज इंडस्ट्री फोरम्स में एक पहचान, एक रिकग्निशन मिला है और इतने सारे अवार्ड्स हमने जीते हैं। हमारी पूरी टीम के हौसले इससे और मजबूत हुए हैं और मुझे विश्वास है कि आने वाले सालों में हम और भी अच्छे प्रोग्राम्स बनाते रहेंगे और नए-नए अवार्ड्स जीतते रहेंगे।
बहुत खुशी हो रही है और ये हमारी टीम की मेहनत है जो इसमें दिखती है, और ये जो कहते हैं कि शायद पब्लिक ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में अवार्ड्स नहीं मिलते हैं, ये जवाब है कि पॉपुलर अवार्ड्स पब्लिक ब्रॉडकास्टर को भी मिल सकते हैं अगर काम अच्छा हो और नीयत अच्छी हो।
Well, now let's take a look at other stories making news today. 14-year-old Mahi Bhatt from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, has achieved over 50-plus junior scientist certificates from global space agencies in just 6 months. Mahi cleared junior scientist examinations conducted by various international space organizations, along with certificates from UNO, UNICEF and UNESCO. Her outstanding performance in NASA's STEM Junior Scientist program has earned her an invitation to a 2026 rocket launch event at NASA's headquarters in the US. The Indian Military Academy in Dehradun was a spectacle of grandeur and patriotism on Saturday as the passing out parade unfolded amid disciplined marching and thunderous applause. On the momentous occasion, 525 cadets from India and friendly nations marked a major milestone in their military journey. The parade was reviewed by the Chief of Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi. And after two contrasting games in the T20 International Series, the contest between India and South Africa is finally poised, with both teams locked at 1 win apiece. The focus now shifts to Dharamshala, where the third T20 International promises to be a crucial encounter in the 5-match series. Here it's more.
After a thrilling start to the series in Cuttack and New Chandigarh, India and South Africa head into the third T20 International, level at 1-1. The scenic Dharamshala will host Sunday's clash, with both teams eyeing a vital 2-1 lead. India, who were clinical with the ball in the series opener, looked off colour in the second match. The biggest concern for the hosts were their batting, with skipper Surya Kumar Yadav and vice-captain Shubman Gill struggling for form. With the ICC T20 World Cup 2026 in mind, India will be keen to get their combinations and momentum back on track. Despite the setback, India will draw confidence from their consistent performers like Abhishek Sharma, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya and Arshdeep Singh. The Proteas, who bounced back strongly after a batting collapse in the first game, outplayed India in all three departments in the second T20I to level the series. Key players to watch include Abhishek Sharma for India, who remains the team's most successful T20I batter in 2025, and Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav, who have been among the wickets consistently. For South Africa, Quinton de Kock's strong record against India and Marco Janssen's all-round impact could prove decisive. Even after falling short in the second T20I, India hold a slight edge over South Africa in their recent head-to-head record. In the last 5 matches, India have beaten South Africa 3 times. The average first innings score for T20 matches at the HPCA Stadium in Dharamshala has consistently increased, hence the toss and the conditions could prove to be a decisive factor as well. With better conditions and rising average first innings score at the venue in recent years, another high-scoring contest could be on the cards as both teams look to seize control of the series. Sports Desk, DD India.
And football star Lionel Messi is in India for his Go to India tour. He is scheduled to attend a series of events on his second day on Sunday. On the second day, the global sports icon will attend an event at the iconic Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai and participate in a philanthropic fashion showcase alongside Uruguay's football star Luis Suarez and Argentine teammate Rodrigo de Paul. The final leg of the tour takes him to Delhi, bringing an end to his 3-day visit. Earlier, he kick-started his Go to India tour from Kolkata on Saturday. The 8 times Ballon d'Or award holder also virtually unveiled a 70-foot tall iron statue with Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan present at the event. After Kolkata, Messi, along with Inter Miami teammates Luis Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul, arrived in Hyderabad in the evening. The trio spent an hour on the pitch at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, delighting the crowd. And a Manila family has transformed their home into a festive attraction, lighting up the neighborhood with thousands of Christmas lights and artificial snowfall made from soap bubbles. The display drew crowds since 2020, offering children a rare taste of winter magic. Let's take a look. right, that's all for this edition of DT India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DT India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DT India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DT India Live.